A treaties, a treaties. I'll tell you this now, and you can tell me how you want to incorporate it if you do want to incorporate it. But like, I just barely watched. So I've been following this photographer called Nigel Danson, and he's so cool. I mean, like the dude is used to he has a PhD in physics, and he worked in the field for a while, and then he's like, and then I don't know what pushed him this way, but now he's just a professional landscape photographer, and that's what he does, and that's like all he does, and he does like YouTube. He's really cool. But anyways, but he talked about one of the things that he does is that he actually uses his phone a lot on certain things, and just talking about how like you can still get like amazing pictures with your phone. Like, so yeah, I think there's like that idea that even with your phone, you can kind of come to appreciate a photographer's view from the world.
You get, because with a phone you can get like autofocus, and now with phones like you can get kind of a little bit about like computer AI, like putting things together to make
Yeah,
the perfect photo. It's really interesting. It's very similar with artists and like especially illustrators, because people that do things traditionally, like with watercolors or with acrylics or ink and stuff, it can be this really like intense process, especially like printmaking. Like that's pretty
yeah,
crazy. And like this one, that was like a print that was made by Hokusai, and it's like carving out of wood basically, like this image that you want, so that you can make multiple copies of it basically. But then digitally you can do like the undo button's one of my best friends because
yeah.
like if I make a mark wrong, also saving is really nice, and just being able to have different layers and stuff. Also with photography you can do that, like when editing photos after taking them. And sometimes it can be like, is this fair, like all of these tools? But I see it as like they're almost in different categories, almost like different people using these different tools to create art in their own way. I think that's really, especially because I've seen a lot of super talented digital artists
Yeah.
that just blow me away what they're able to accomplish and do. And it doesn't mean like that they're any less skilled because they don't work traditionally. It's kind of like with like bending things in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's just like that's what they've chosen to specialize in. Like that's what comes most naturally to them, and that's what works like with their personality and like who they are. And that's really cool that you brought that up, because it made me think about, in school I studied a little bit about like a history of photography and like camera obscuras and stuff. They're like these giant rooms, and you would have like a little pinhole and you could see the outside. And then the first camera, I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically kind of like on like this metal type sheet, and the image took a super long time to expose basically, and to actually get an image from it. It's crazy how we've come from that to like where we are now with phones, but also with cameras. Like it blows my mind how far technology has come. Because like the only camera, like before using your Nikon, I had used like a little like blue like Sony digital camera that had no focus or any, like it just took photos. It's kind of what it did. And like how with DSLRs and stuff, and also like mirrorless cameras, you're able to get like these super awesome images and rack focus and like figure out things in order to get like that image that you want. I think it's super cool, like how it all works and stuff.
Yeah. No, and I think it's so cool because I mean I think a lot of people, think I just have my phone, so there's not much I can do. But I mean, I still use my phone, and sometimes I feel like the pictures I got of a certain scene, it gets everything in focus better than sometimes I can do on my DSLR. But no, it really is so cool that you can do that. You don't need anything crazy. I mean, DSLRs are great for a lot of reasons, but in a lot of ways this does an incredible job, and you can do some incredible work with what you have. You don't have to go out and spend what I spent or what
Yeah.
other photographers have spent
It can be a lot of
on their
money.
gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool how one of the things that I don't know how to put it into words, but how your craft and like being a photographer would give you the motivation and kind of like a reason to go out there and to explore and to try out, go into new places and stuff. Like to be like, because I want to get a shot there of like a bird there, or I want to go there and see what I can shoot and stuff. And it all comes like with time. I remember a lot of the images I took on your camera, like they were very underexposed, like or overexposed. It's just like I don't know what I'm doing. I'd look through the viewfinder and it would look a certain way, and I'd take him like, that's not my photo. What happened? But it's a learning process, and I think that's how it is with all things, with animation or learning how to oil paint. I took a head drawing class, and that was a huge learning process because I went from, I love like digital art and animation and 3D stuff. And I had this kind of giant like notebook and put it up against a drawing horse. And I had to hold a pencil kind of like this and like draw like that and get someone's likeness, like not just draw a stick figure or draw like a fun character. Like I have to make it look like that person. That I found is a very difficult task. And it blows my mind how in animation and stuff, a lot of times you'll look at the voice actor or whatever, and you're like, this looks so much like the actual character. And how animators have gotten so good at doing that and really putting that human aspect into that character. And it's like, I don't know how it's been for you as a photographer, but artists and illustrators with AI and stuff, it's been crazy. Like there's people going crazy. I try not to be negative to either of the groups, but it's really interesting seeing how as technology like moves forward, how creation changes, and really we need to figure out what we value. And one of the things that I value a lot is that human connection and that human aspect that's in all art. Like in film and photography, you can be like, someone took this photo and I can see this person, I can see kind of how this person is seen. Rather with an image that's just computer generated, sometimes it can be lifeless, and there can be a lot of that human aspect and that like really emotion like missing from a photo or an image.
Yeah, no, and I think AI coming about, there's a lot of like, I have some like complaints about it, like everyone probably does, but I mean, it's really nice because in a lot of ways it enables us to start to focus on really the material or what we're capturing or what we're trying to say, because a lot of the menial tasks that we used to have to worry about or that we are worrying about now, tomorrow won't be too big of an issue. And it kind of opens up, a little bit more of our efforts to kind of just perfecting, the creative aspect of the art that we're creating. And I think that's, I think AI is going to really help that, at least for photography. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's not the same for animation, but I'm sure it would be the same for animation too, as well.
No, like seeing a lot of AI generated animations really given me a lot of gratitude for hand-drawn animation and all that goes into that and the process. Like going back and watching Tarzan or something, and I'm trying to think of a film, maybe like Beauty and the Beast, but some of the old Disney films, you can literally see like the pencil strokes or pen strokes or whatever of the animators and the artists. And I've really begun to value that, like seeing that aspect, like imperfection. I talked about this in an earlier podcast, but imperfections, like they can be super amazing and beautiful. Like there's this quote in a book by Austin Kleon, and he talks about how humans cannot make a perfect copy of something, like draw something exactly the same, like twice basically. And some people might be like, well, that's not good, because like you need to be able to be perfect. You got to get it done like exactly right. But like each time you draw something, it's different, and there's like different imperfections and things that are going on that make, I don't know, like it's really weird how drawing a character, you draw the nose like this and it looks like, no, that's not right. And then you draw it like this and just change things a little bit, and it's like, what the heck? It's a totally different character. Like it's interesting how those little small things can make a huge difference in someone. It's like there was like that experiment or something. It's like someone without their eyebrows, you can't recognize them. I can't remember what it is. It's like someone looks very different without their eyebrows.
That makes me think of one of my favorite photo narratives that I've ever seen, or I guess it was more of an experiment. It was that this photographer would go out to these people that kind of looked rough and rugged, or just random people in the street, and would take a picture of one of them just not having any expression or not smiling, and then the next one was them smiling, and it's just like it's the same person, but it's almost like it is two different people, just because they're smiling, or just that one detail changes everything, and it really is. It was an awesome story.
Yeah, the power of like a smile is pretty, it's pretty amazing. It's like really that connection, and it like it reminds me of like during the quarantine and stuff with people's masks, like it really had a strong impact on my emotional state, because I could not see people smiling, like, and I couldn't, I could still connect with people, I guess, through their eyes, but really, and seeing someone talking, you're able to understand them better. Because like I didn't realize how much I kind of, and I think a lot of people we rely on lip reading and like seeing someone's expressions and understanding like what they're actually saying. Like I don't know, it was very like humbling and just kind of like a sobering thing to me to be like, wow, like this thing that we can take for granted, that we have taken for granted, like it's so powerful in connecting all of us and allowing us to connect with each other. So I think that's really cool. So I just wanted to end the episode by asking you your, let's do like top 3 movies. They can be animation, like if you want. I'll tell you mine so you can start thinking about yours. And it doesn't have to be like top 3 for time in all eternity, like type thing. But I can't give them in an order. But one is Treasure Planet. And you know, I love Treasure Planet. It's such an awesome story. And yeah, there's just a lot that I can connect to with that story. One of them is Into the Spider-Verse, which tried a lot of new things with animation, with combining 2D and 3D elements. And I love Spider-Man, so it's just really cool. And one that people don't understand, but I love it so much, is Sorcerer's Apprentice. It has like Nicolas Cage and stuff, and then the guy who voices Hiccup, something Baruchel, I think. I don't know what it is. I just love that movie.
It's a good movie. That's good music too.
Yeah, no, it's really good music.
I think, let's see, my favorite movies, I would say like right now my top 3 movies would have to be, not particularly in this order, would be Dune. Actually wearing a Dune shirt right now.
Oh, nice. Atreides.
Atreides. Anyways, but yeah, Dune would be one, and then Interstellar, and We Bought a Zoo. Yeah, because I mean, like Dune, there's a lot of reasons why I love it. I think they just did an incredible job creating the world and just painting this beautiful environment, but also like really tense environment. It's just really captivating, but really natural. And I think they did a phenomenal job. Interstellar is just, feeds my nerdy brain, because I love and very into kind of like, physics and the science world, along with photography, but it's just very interesting to me. I also love the relationship between the dad and his daughter in that movie. It's really spectacular. And then We Bought a Zoo is just like one of the most heartfelt, wholesome movies. And it just, if you haven't seen it, but it's about this dad and learning to cope with his children after his wife passes away. And it's just a really wonderful story.
That's super cool. Yeah. I love all those movies too. Dune, I need to watch it again, because when I watched it, I was a little tired and stressed and stuff. And I was like, I don't know what's going on in this movie, but it was like stunning cinematically. Like it was a beautiful, like stunning movie. And Interstellar, we had a friend, Peter, he loves physics and he loves that movie. And We Bought a Zoo like blew me away. Like Kai always talked about, it was a good movie. It was a very touching story, but it was a very moving story, and something that I felt like I could relate to. Like one of the things that they talked about, I think the dad or the guy talked about it, like the 5 seconds or 3 seconds or something of like insane
20 seconds of courage.
20 seconds of like insane courage. And it's just something that I've thought about and tried to apply to my life in some ways, to really step out of a comfort zone, try to grow. Like there's a lot of good things that you can learn from that movie. And I think, and like bringing this all together with Gravity Falls and Over the Garden Wall and photography and adventure, like it all goes down to the journey and like the changes that we all go through, the changes in life. Like right now, trying to figure out what you want to be and who you want to be, and also just kind of finding yourself. And that's really connected with me on a lot of levels, stories that are about finding yourself and supporting those around you. I started to realize that throughout my life, probably growing up in Scouts and then later serving a mission, the aspect of brotherhood and having people that are alike to you in so many ways, but very different to you in so many ways, to be able to help you where you are weak and to be a strength to you. It's really been a huge like buoy to me in my life to help me to learn more about who I want to be and what I want to do. It's like no man is an island, and you can't live life in a vacuum. You got to go out there and meet new people, and it can be scary. Like in Gravity Falls or Over the Garden Wall, the unknown can be super scary. It can be like, what is coming? What, like, how am I going to make it through this huge challenge? But we can do hard things, and we are more. There's a quote from Winnie the Pooh, but it's like Christopher Robin says, like, you are braver than you seem and smarter than you think. And it kind of goes with like that quote from Alex Hirsch, that don't let anyone ever tell you that you aren't smart or brave or worthy enough, because like all of us, we are amazing people, and we have these amazing talents and gifts that God has given us, and we're also like unique and quirky, and like we have like weird tendencies, but like those things make us us, and they make us unique, and they really make all the difference. They make us an amazing main character of our own story, like a lovable main character that people, they love seeing that journey and that character arc. So yeah, thank you again so much for joining me for this podcast. I feel like I need to apologize to people. I know I go off on a lot of tangents, but that's just kind of how my brain works. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much, Kyle. And yeah, so go check out Kyle's photography and check out the episodes before this, and we will see you guys next time. Peace. Yeah.